So, good morning, Marie. Could you tell something about yourself, who you are, and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Marie. I'm 29 years old. I live in Denmark with my husband and two kids. And I've been a knitwear designer for almost 3 years now. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And where do people know you from? Do you have Instagram or a website or both?
Yeah, I have both. They know me from mainly Instagram, I think, and of course my website, minimaknit.com. Yeah.
Minimaknit.com. And at this website, do you also sell patterns, or is it more a blog, or both? Do you love to write about your knitted designs, or what do you do?
Yeah, I sell my patterns, but I also have a blog where I sometimes write about general things about knitwear, like tension, or if I have a particular model with some new techniques, then I make some videos to help knitters. Yeah.
Do you also do some tutorials as well? Because you talk about how people should make, for instance, a gauche or swatch or something. You give also.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And when did you start to knit? Is it something you did like many years, or did you start recently?
I actually started when I was a kid. I learned it in school, but then I had this long pause, and I resumed knitting when I got pregnant with my boys, because I needed some cute baby outfits, and I haven't stopped since then. So yeah, ever since I was a kid. Yeah.
Okay. And you needed some cute baby outfits. Was it also the reason you couldn't find some in the store you'd like, so you started to make your own?
No, I think it was the slow fashion that started the love for knitting, and the love you put into knitting, and making it my own, and with the details I found cute for babies. And yeah, so it was not that I couldn't find any cute sweaters in the shops, but I wanted to make my own things for my own babies. Yeah.
Okay, I get that. To knit some love, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Knitted love. Yeah.
Perfect. And at the time you start knitting these baby sweaters or cardigans, was it also the time you start using social media to post your latest designs? Or
Yeah.
how did that start?
Well, I started knitting other patterns, but I quickly started making my own. It was like I had all sorts of ideas that I just couldn't stop, and it needed to get out in some way. So I quickly began to design my own, and then I started posting on Instagram to see if I was the only one who thought this was cute, but luckily I wasn't. Yeah.
Okay. And then it went very fast with followers, and or did you only? What was it your intention to really use social media to connect with other people, or what was your intention to use social media?
I was quickly drawn to the community on Instagram. I think that it's very welcoming, and the people are so kind, and the inspiration, and so no, my intention was not to gain followers or be this huge designer. I was just making mine available for others, and be a part of this great community. Yeah.
And do you prefer Instagram for instance, for looking for more inspiration, or do you also use Pinterest or Ravelry?
I prefer Instagram, but I use Ravelry as well. I'm not that used to Pinterest yet, so I prefer Instagram. It's very visual, and the community. I'm addicted. Yeah,
I can understand. And you already talked about that when you design, you want to create some love. When you design a piece, what do you look for? What does it has to be? For instance, when you have an idea, are you then able to draw it yourself, or do you just start knitting and see where things goes?
That's very different from each piece. Sometimes I draw it, but I have this clear visual of how I wanted it to look, and I almost draw it in my mind and make the calculations on a piece of paper, old school pen and paper. Yeah.
Always use the top-down technique, or do you also use different techniques and then sew in the arms later, or do you do everything?
I prefer the top-down because I find it easier to adjust, because you can try it on along the way, and you can completely change the expression by, for example, knitting it longer or adding some increases. But I do have some bottom-up pieces as well. Yeah, that's it's completely different, I think, and for some pieces it's better bottom up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And for what pieces, for instance, is it better to knit bottom up, you think?
I've just created a slipover that will be released in this week, actually, and I found it. I wanted a different expression in that, with some raw details on the shoulders, and I wanted it to be finished with crochet, so that was easier bottom up.
Okay. So you do also some crochet as well, or are you more of a knitter?
I'm a knitter.
Okay.
In my heart, I'm a knitter. Yeah.
But is it something you would like to learn more in the future, to learn to do more crochet, or are you more of a knitter and want to increase your knitting skills?
Both, I think. I love learning new things. I would like to be able to crochet some lace, maybe, for the knitwear, and combine the two. But there's a lot of techniques in knitting as well I would like to improve. Yeah.
Okay. What would be your favorite type of quality to knit with?
Right now, my favorite is carpe diem. Yeah. But I also love the good old combination of jawohl and lace. That's almost a classic for me. Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you love that the most? These two types of combinations, and the carpe diem, for instance.
I think it's super soft, first of all, and it stays nice even when used, and it keeps its form, and the colors are beautiful. And I think it's easy to use it in different types of designs as well. Yeah.
How would you describe your style?
Oh, my style. First of all, I think it's minimalistic. being the key word here. I'm a sucker for pretty details and fun constructions of knitwear. Yeah, you already know that I love top-down projects, so I find it funny to make different kinds of constructions to do that. Instead of always choosing raglan, I like to create new ways of knitting top-down. Yeah.
Okay. And would you love also, perhaps, well, I know top-down knitting is most for Fair Isle knitting. Do you also want to do that in the future, or would you love to stick with multiple strengths and just use, for instance, the yarwul and the lace?
I would love to try the Fair Isle. Yeah, I've never tried it actually, but
okay.
Yeah, that's on my to-do list. Yeah.
Very interesting, because when I think of the Nordic top-down knitting, because we already always name it like top-down knitting, then I have to think about the Scandinavian beautiful sweaters who are knitted with the Fair Isle technique. So that was the first thing when it come to mind in my mind, and
yeah.
And now I've seen so many beautiful other designs which have nothing to do with the Fair Isle technique, but it's just knitted in a different type of way. It's very interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it's mostly my talented co-workers in Norway who are really good at Fair Isle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing to see. And
yeah.
And to go back to your website, do you only sell your patterns in Danish, or do you also sell it in other languages as well?
Yeah, I do. I sell in English as well, and I've started translating into French and soon German, but I also have some Norwegian and Swedish patterns available. Yeah.
But do you know where the most knitters come from? From which country who want to buy your patterns? Is it more? I know for certain I am Dutch, but I know that a lot of Dutch people love your designs as well, and love to download it. But I'm very curious if you see a trend, if there are more people from a specific country who download your patterns. Do you know that?
Yeah, I do. It's mostly the Scandinavian countries, but I have a lot of customers from the United States and Australia as well, and actually some from South Korea, and that's crazy in some way to think that someone around the world is knitting my designs. Yeah.
Very excited and also proud feeling if that happens to you.
Yeah.
And do you also have some tips or tricks for people who want to design their own clothing as well? Do you have some tips or tricks for them?
Yeah, do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. No. Yeah, actually that's the best advice. Trust your own work and try not to take it all in when people are doubting you. Try to trust your own work and yeah, just enjoy the ride because it's worth it. Yeah.
Perfect. And the sweater you are wearing, is that also a design you've created yourself, or?
Yeah, it's actually a dress. Yeah.
It's a dress. Oh, can you show it to us?
Yeah, I can try if there's enough room.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What is the name of this design?
This is Oda's dress. It's not released yet though, but it would soon be. Yeah.
Okay, so it's some exciting news you could share with us. Almost released.
Yeah, almost released. Yeah. Yeah.
And can we expect more patterns from you in the future?
Yeah, yeah. You can't pay me to stop though. Yeah, I have quite a few patterns which will be released in the next few months. And also I'm currently writing a book, which is the first time. Yeah, I'm saying this in public, so you're the first one to know. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And could you tell something more about that book, or is it a very top secret?
It was a secret up until now, but I can share a little bit. Yeah, I have this cool cooperation with another designer, Knitwear-Designer, who is designing for me, and we are releasing her patterns in my web shop as well. But we decided to write a book, and it will be with a fairy tale twist. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And when can we await this book? When does
in the fall?
In the fall, already in the fall. Whoa.
Yeah.
Then you have to go immediately and start knitting, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So. And will it be a big book, or a couple of designs, or?
I think we have 25 designs.
And are there also some ideas to translate the book in other languages, or for now it's only in Danish?
I hope to translate it into English. Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. Well, Marie, thank you for this wonderful interview. We are very excited to see all the beautiful patterns coming, and we will visit you on Instagram or on your website.
Yeah, my Instagram name is just minimaknit, and my website is minimaknit.com.
Okay, perfect.